just make a little note for you. Secretion is one of those words in biology that has multiple meanings. And both meanings don't work here. So before, when we've talked about secretion, we may have talked about a cell using the endomembrane system and then dumping the contents of that material outside the cell. So in an endocrine system, we could say that hormones are secreted. So we could have the pancreas secreting insulin or glucagon into the circulatory system. That's one definition of secretion. That's not this one. This one has nothing to do with how secretion is used in endocrine systems. Instead, secretion is where we take things out of the fluid and into the filtrate. Okay, so here is secretion. Some of the molecules that we want to get rid of, they didn't get filtered into the filtrate. They were too big probably, or maybe there was too much of it and it couldn't get through the fenestrations fast enough and it was carried through over to here. Now what we're going to do is take material that we want to get rid of and dump it into the filtrate. That's secretion. The final step is shown here by this black arrow. This is called excretion. This is where we take and move the filtrate out of the body. Okay? So, filtration, reabsorption, secretion, excretion. All excretory systems, I don't care how simple or complex they are, they have these four components. In reality, in my mind anyway, I'm thinking like three. You have one step that's a filtering step. Reabsorption and secretion is like a readjustment step. I didn't quite do things the way I wanted to do them, so I'm going to take another crack at it. The filtration wasn't perfect. Well, let's readjust what's in the filtrate by either adding more stuff to it or taking stuff away. And then finally, this last piece, excretion, let's kick it out of the body. Okay? Filtration, adjustment, excretion. And the adjustment has two steps, reabsorption and secretion. Okay? All right. All right, let's take a look at our first excretory system. This will be the simplest organism that we can find that has an excretory system. Well, sponges are the simplest animals. They don't have an excretory system. They don't even have tissues. The cnidarians, right, jellyfish, corals, and the ctenophorans, neither one of them have excretory systems. So the earliest one we can find would be in platyhelminthes. These are the flatworms. And the one we're going to talk about specifically is a planarian. Which is a little flatworm, okay, up there at the top. Okay? All right. Nitrogenous wastes are generated. That's just the way things are. So what we need to do is come up with a way to get rid of these nitrogenous wastes in a nice little fashion here. So because this is a very simple system, the simplest one we can find, it's often referred to as a protonephridium. Proto meaning early, like prototype, the early type, the one you make first as you're trying to figure stuff out. And then anytime you see this nephros, think kidney. So this is like the prototype kidney, okay? This is like the basic one, a simplified one on our way to making the more complex structure. Okay? The protonephridium is this unit that makes up the planarians. Now, we also have another name for this. The system of protonephridia is called the flame bulb system. The flame bulb system consists of these flame cells with what are called bulbs. So I have this cell here,